the biggest sex organ you have is your brain. It's not actually between your legs, you know.
Right.
So you're affected by so many different contributing factors. And I think for couples, the best thing to do is actually not to judge how many times you're having sex, because I think we can all get carried away with that, but actually to think, when was the last time that you did have sex? And then just to talk about it together, to normalise it.
It's a difficult thing, isn't it, Simone? Because if you get into that habit, if you get into the way of it, that, you know, whether it's separate bedrooms, if you've got more than one bedroom in your house, or you know, not having sex and just getting into that, the more you're in the habit, the more you're in the habit, isn't it? It just keeps going.
Absolutely, and I think the where I work with couples is that I ask them to schedule sex, because it's a myth that sex has to be spontaneous, and it just can't be like that. You know, when you're literally have a code word for your kitchen calendars with your other half. I don't know, what could yours be, Emma?
Shopping. I get really confused.
And put it in, because otherwise, you know, it's so hard to find and keep sex on the to-do list. It's the first thing, especially for women, that goes, and it's understandable.
It's very interesting, because sex expert Simone Bienne joins me now. It's interesting what Rachel was saying there about you can kick this habit, if you like, but that's not going to happen overnight.
No, you've got to have time for a pattern to emerge, and what's really, really sad with sex addiction, and I don't know Rachel's particular story sort of to do with her childhood, but it comes from bad parenting, and so often with sex addiction what women do is they try and mend these childhood wounds, and especially if you've been sexualised from a young age, if you've been either emotionally or sexually abused, sex is a way of acting out and trying to heal. And you're not aware that you're trying to heal, and what Rachel was saying actually about seeking out these bad relationships, often what sex addicts can do is find these toxic relationships in order to have the extreme, the bad, the dangerous sex.
So they're setting themselves up, really, aren't they? It's terribly sad. I mean, there's no way, if you're kind of like, I mean, I don't know whether, is addiction the right word? Is addiction, do you think that's the...
It is. As a sex therapist,
right,
I would say, yes, it is addiction, but it's a process addiction. So what Rachel was talking about there is where that you become addicted to the feel-good chemicals when you have sex. You become addicted. But then your body, like anything, like with any addiction, gets used to those feelings, and so you need more and more of them. So the sex becomes even more extreme, even more dangerous. And it's, Lorraine, you're absolutely right. It's incredibly sad, incredibly sad.
No, it really is. Thank you both. I wish we could talk about this more.
One thing that I want to say is how much of an inspiration Sarah is actually with how she has managed to, you know, come so far, because that is rare, and she's moved on healthily with her husband and sees very much his role as the father, and just how mature she's being.
No, yeah.
And my hope is she'll find a new man.
I'll bet you do.